Sometimes the person you look down on today may be the one you'll look up to tomorrow. This is the story of a woman who learned that art and people can never be judged by appearances. It was a bright Saturday morning in New York City, and the sidewalks of Central Park West were alive with tourists, musicians, and street artists. Among them sat Liam Carter, a young artist in his mid-20s with messy brown hair, wearing a faded denim jacket covered in paint splatters. He wasn't rich, and he didn't have a studio. His gallery was the pavement, and his masterpieces were spread across the ground for passers-by to see. Each painting told a story. Sunsets over the city, a mother and child crossing a rainy street, the reflection of hope in a homeless man's eyes. But few people noticed his work long enough to care. Around noon, a black luxury car pulled up near the curb. Out stepped Victoria Hale, a 45-year-old businesswoman, elegant, confident, and dressed in a designer coat and heels. She was one of New York's top real estate developers, used to getting whatever she wanted. She walked briskly toward a boutique, but stopped abruptly as she noticed Liam sitting on the ground, painting. He was blocking a bit of the sidewalk with his canvases. "Excuse me," she said sharply. "You're in the way. People are trying to walk here." Liam looked up, startled. "Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. I'll move some of my paintings." She crossed her arms. "You shouldn't even be doing this here. Why don't you get a real job instead of cluttering the street?" People nearby turned to look. Liam's cheeks flushed with embarrassment. He said quietly, "This is my real job. It's what I love." Victoria scoffed. "Love doesn't pay bills. You're wasting your time." She walked away without another glance. Liam looked down at his unfinished painting. It was of a woman standing before a tall glass building, looking lost. For a moment, he almost stopped painting altogether. But then he whispered to himself, "No one decides my worth but me." He picked up his brush and kept painting. The same woman in his art. The following weeks were hard. Liam sold only a few small pieces, just enough for rent and food. But every day he came back to the same spot, painting the people he saw. One afternoon, he finished a new piece, a large portrait of a woman standing in a golden glow, her eyes reflecting both pride and loneliness. She looked powerful, yet empty, and without realizing it, he had painted Victoria. He didn't plan to sell that painting. Something about it felt special. It carried emotion, truth, something deeper than money. A chance invitation. Months later, a local art curator named Sophie Allen passed by Liam's spot. She stopped, captivated by his work. "These are incredible," she said, examining the details. "You capture emotions like no one else I've seen." Liam smiled shyly. "Thank you. I just paint what I feel." Sophie introduced herself as the curator for a well-known modern art gallery in Chelsea. "We're showcasing rising local artists next month. Would you like to display your work?" Liam's eyes widened. "Me? Really?" "Yes," she said with a warm smile. "You deserve to be seen." For the first time in years, hope filled Liam's heart. He worked day and night to prepare his best pieces, including the portrait of Victoria, which he titled Reflections of Pride. The grand opening. The night of the exhibit arrived. The Chelsea Modern Art Gallery buzzed with guests, critics, collectors, journalists, and wealthy art lovers. Waiters carried glasses of champagne, and cameras flashed under the bright lights. Liam stood nervously near the entrance, wearing a simple black jacket. He wasn't used to crowds or attention. And then, as fate would have it, Victoria Hale entered the gallery. She was one of the invited guests, known for supporting emerging artists. As part of her public image campaign, she moved gracefully through the crowd, scanning the paintings until she froze. There it was. Her own face stared back at her from the canvas. Powerful, proud, yet deeply lonely. She stepped closer, heart pounding. The title read, "Reflections of Pride" by Liam Carter. Victoria couldn't look away. The painting captured something she didn't know others could see. The truth behind her perfect image. The coldness she'd built around herself. The walls money couldn't break. Sophie, the curator, noticed her expression. "Beautiful, isn't it?" The artist said he painted it after meeting a woman who reminded him that pride can hide pain. Victoria's lips parted slightly. "He said that?" "Yes," Sophie replied. "It's one of his most emotional pieces." Victoria turned to find Liam standing nearby, talking with a small group of guests. Their eyes met. He gave a small, polite smile. No bitterness, just calm. She walked toward him slowly. "Liam," she said softly, "you painted that after we met, didn't you?" He nodded. "Yes, ma'am, you inspired it. I wanted to capture the strength I saw, and the loneliness behind it." She looked down, ashamed. "I was rude to you that day. I shouldn't have spoken to you like that." Liam smiled gently. "That's okay. If it weren't for that day, that painting wouldn't exist." The change of heart. Later that evening, when the gallery announced sales, Reflections of Pride became the highlight of the night. It sold for $60,000. Victoria stood in the crowd, stunned, watching as people applauded the young artist she once dismissed. After the event, she approached Liam again. "I want to buy another painting," she said. He looked surprised. "Really?" She nodded. "Yes, but this time, not for myself. For one of my buildings downtown. I want others to see your art too." From that night on, Liam's work spread across the city, in lobbies, hotels, and galleries. His name became known not as a street artist, but as one of New York's most promising painters. And as for Victoria, she changed too. She began funding local street art programs and started a foundation to help young artists from struggling backgrounds. The full circle moment. A year later, Liam was invited to unveil a new mural in the heart of the city. A massive piece titled "Humanity in Color." The ceremony was sponsored by none other than Victoria Hale. When the crowd cheered, she turned to him and said, "I was wrong about you, and about what really matters. Thank you for showing me." He smiled. "You didn't just inspire a painting, Victoria. You inspired change." The camera pans up to reveal the mural faces of people from every walk of life, connected by color and compassion. Soft, inspiring piano and strings fade in. Don't underestimate people because of where they are today. Every soul holds beauty, talent, and a story worth hearing. Sometimes, it just takes one open heart or one open mind to see it.